Alright, what's up guys, my name is Suicidal Grind, and today I'm wearing the fucking dehumanizing eat a train worship shirt that someone unauthorized cleaned, and well, you see what they did. They obviously did it at too high temperature and ruined the entire fucking print. So that's amazing. So I'll probably be buying a new dehumanizing eat a train shirt in the future. I've had this for like a year or two now. 2 years probably. But it's still fucking broken. You know, it's fucking art. It's barely even visible. But anyways, today I'm not gonna show off any cool slam metal or anime or Guitar Hero. Today we're actually talking about thrash metal, something I don't usually do, I guess, but I've done a little bit more on recently in my life. We're gonna talk about a specific band, and the band in question is Vektor. And why I'm going to talk about this band is going to it's going to be self-explanatory later. I will probably be this is a fully improvised video, by the way, so anything I come up with at the moment will be said. So on into the video. Let's get into it. That was probably loud, but hey. So basically, there's this band, a thrash metal band called Vektor. Now, what is exactly Vektor? What kind of thrash do they do? They are a progressive thrash metal band. Now, not like Havoc or that other band that I don't remember the name of, because I don't like it. Uh, they're not like your usual Slayer. They're a bit different. They kind of have their own style of progressive thrash metal, and I'll explain why. Now, the band comes out of Tempe in Arizona, under which is in America. As I said, they make thrash metal, progressive thrash to be exact. Uh, they have released 3 studio albums so far, as far as I know. 3 studio albums being in order now: Black Future, Outer Isolation, and Terminal Redux. And ever since I'd say that if I had to comment on like their album releases, is that they do not have enough albums. But thankfully, they are working on new albums currently, and David DeSanto seems to be finishing up some work, and we'll probably be seeing an album from them somewhere late 2019 or early 2020. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna be a Tool album where it doesn't come out in the next 50 years or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? It's been since 2016 since the last time, but because of quitting band members and legal struggles, it's been a hard time for Vektor, especially David DeSanto. Now, David DeSanto himself, he's not a bad guy. In fact, I'd say he should probably be the face of metal because he's one of the nicest guys in the whole genre. He's humble and he knows like what he's doing. He doesn't fuck around, to say the least. Now, the thing I love about the Vektor is uh that they have their own little vocal style, which I'm gonna get into what I mean. Basically, David DeSanto does this vocal style called a whistle tone scream, which is used to reach the highest notes humanly possible, which you can find in if you search the highest note human that a human has reached or whatever, the highest sang note, something like that. And He can reach some pretty like out of this world high notes that are so impressive that whenever he screams, because he doesn't just do a whistle tone like singing voice, he does a whistle tone scream. That's the thing. Uh, his whistle tone screaming, which is very unusual. You don't usually hear screaming in a whistle tone. People don't use that combination. I have never heard anyone else do the combination of whistle tone and screaming, because whistle tone is usually used by pop stars to reach high notes in pop songs. Like I don't know, I don't remember the fucking names of the artists because they are not metal. But let me go into what Vektor has that not any other progressive thrash metal band has. They have their own kind of thing going on. They're very unique with their sound. Uh, I can start by saying that they are in F standard tuning, which is very unusual these days, because usually today with the thrash metal bands we have today, they tune lower. They tune down to like G sharps or like F sharp standard, like eight string tuning on 6 string. You know, it's ridiculous the kind of tunings people actually do today. But then you see Vektor, and they just tune up their guitars, and they're still heavier than I'd say 90% of thrash bands today. And they decide to tune up a whole step. Being able to, and I'm not saying tuning affects heaviness, that's the thing. Tuning lower doesn't make you heavier, it only makes the sound deeper, and it also means you have to be way more creative with what you make. Tuning up to F standard doesn't only make you uh, not change the heaviness at all, but it also makes it easier to reach the higher notes. And it also makes clarity, which I don't think enough people focus on in metal. Clarity is so important because down in the F tunings, like eight string F tuning, you get a lot of usually, you know, that out of tune noise with the boom, that the note has to adjust, the string has to vibrate, it vibrates so much it goes out of tune because it's such a low tuned string that it just does that. That's just how it is. It's no way to get around it because it doesn't really matter unless you want a guitar this fucking big with the neck. That's the problem with these low register. They don't have as much clarity as just playing in regular E standard. Am I saying it's bad? No, but Vektor tuning up to F standard, they have an advantage with clarity. You can hear all the notes clearly what's happening, even when there's just total noise going on, because they have total noise going on in Hunger for Violence, for example, and stuff like that. Just to take an example, I'm going to play a couple of bits of Dark Nebula. Now, I'll start with playing the intro right here. Hold on. That right there is chromatic scale destruction. I do not know how they do it, but they can make chromatic scales sound this awesome. Outer space awesome. They They make music. They make the theme songs for NASA. That's how out of this world good their songs are. Um, and then you have this next part here. That right there is called creativity. It's very simple. The intro is very simple. It's not hard to play. I'm not saying this is impossible to play. This is actually probably this is actually the easiest Vektor song of them all. This intro is just a simple but yet a very impressive intro because the phrasing and the scales and they're taking the chromatic scale and choosing notes in a way that not many people really do, you know? It has that eerie kind of outer space tone with their like style. Their style is basically out of this world, galaxies beyond thrash metal that's progressive and has different time signatures, but they also do not use a metronome, which is a very crucial point for many bands today. They use a metronome and quantize their guitars to make it sound perfectly polished and mistake free. It's just humanly incorrect. You're not leaving the human part in. You're taking the human part out, and you can ask professional engineers like Glenn Fricker. He will probably tell you that leaving the human part in and leaving a couple mistakes in is, or basically re-recording it and not quantizing it until you get it, is much more better than sitting there and fucking relying on a fucking computer. That's why most progressive metal these days, it's not, it doesn't have the same kind of soul as the kind of music Vektor does. And I'm gonna say that Vektor is ahead of their time because this was in 2009 and they did this kind of shit. Now, I know a lot of people will take on this point and say that, oh, but this band has does has done this kind of style before. Also, I think I might have a light dyslexia, so fuck you if you complain about that. Probably do. And light issues with memory loss because I just lost an entire sentence. Basically, what I was saying is that, it's, yeah, people will say that, oh, this band has done this before and stuff, but that's not the point here. The point is that Vektor is doing things differently than everyone else because they are doing this and that, and instead of, because the way that the first time I heard Vektor, I was like, wow, never heard anything this impressive before, and that's genuine, you know. Uh, it's really, 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 really impressive stuff, and that's the thing here. They have this, okay, so yeah, outer space tone, and let's continue, but I'm not gonna go this part. Alright. Yeah, I need to fix this. From here, we'll listen to this. That entire part there was more impressive than most metal today. Fuck off, jag gör en video. fuck off, jag ska göra den här videon. Okej. It's got that fucking out of space tone, and the whistle tone and screaming was the whistle tone that you don't really hear much. Now we're gonna go and get to the most important part of this song, which is this part. Into life. They search to be content with what we are, and to look and find a place among the stars. Desperately we arrive anywhere, a place we never planned to be. For people that say that, oh, Vektor, the dark nebula is not real thrash, I would say fuck you right off to your face if you said that, because this is the thing. People assume, like with thrash metal, that it always has to be this like 200 BPM blast beat music. It doesn't really have to be that way, because progressive thrash metal is a different kind, where you have more melody and progressive solos and more thought out things than just going this simple and aggressive tone. But they do know how to do aggressive stuff. This is a good example for that. Right there, that intro, that whole 1 minute and 10-second intro is very, very impressive. Now, there's also a solo in this that I'm gonna try to find. is the proof that they clearly do aggressive stuff. And again, we have us destroying the And that right there is why Vektor probably one of the best bands in the entire metal genre. I dare say right now, after phasing and thinking, that they may actually have become my favorite band right now. Because really, just like every yesterday and earlier today, I wasn't really looking at them as my favorite band. But now that I have analyzed and listened very closely to their phrasing right now, I realized that fucking shit is good. Now, I've been suicidal grind, and you've been watching me fanboying over Vektor for 20 minutes. Hope you enjoyed, and also never forget, Vektor is just the best band. It's just how it is. They're just the best. If you don't think that, you're a fucking... We can see your underwear from down here. We can see your